I hope I don't forget. Hello everyone! Welcome to the kitchen of Korean Culture Center in Brussels. My name is Eileen Gamba and I am a keen enthusiast of the Korean culture and the Korean food in particular. Today we will start a new series of online Korean cooking classes, and we have a special emphasis on Korean vegan food. So I am very happy to present you our distinguished guest, Chef Lee. Could you please introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Hello, Eileen. Hello, everybody. My name is Yoon Lee. I'm a cooking instructor at Korean Culture Center in Brussels here. And also I have my own cooking studio in Miso, which is located a little bit north of Brussels. And I teach Korean cuisine to Belgian people who are interested in learning new cuisine.
I am so much looking forward to this online cooking class with Chef Lee, but today's class will be emphasizing the Korean vegan food. So what is Korean vegan food?
Well, the Korean vegan food is not a new concept in Korea. Eileen, do you know temple food?
I heard about it. Yeah. I know that it's very simple, yet very delicious and full of veggies, I guess.
Good. Very good. Well, temple food is the cuisine that's prepared by Korean Buddhist monks. And they emphasize on ingredients that are sustainable and locally grown and also eco-friendly and vegan. So temple food, the philosophy that temple food has, also the vegan food has some interchangeable philosophy. So it's not totally new concept in Korea.
This is really good news for people like me and maybe probably for some of our viewers who prefer vegan food. So what is today's menu then?
Well, today we are going to make a ground soybean stew with kimchi. Well, actually, that is the very yummy stew that's made of pureed, creamy, soaked soybean. And it's very yummy, but also nutritious, and it's well digestible.
That's great. I cannot wait to start cooking. But before we do, I would like to remind our viewers, the audience, that we will be cooking, and at the end of the session, we will be accepting your questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to write it down in the comments part so that we know about it and we answer your questions at the end of our session. So shall we start cooking?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, let me start our cooking class by introducing some of the ingredients, key ingredients. The first, this is a soybean stew, so you need to have a soybeans. Huh? I have here dry soybeans. You can buy from any Asian store or organic store. I bought this one from the regular local bio shop in Siats, in my neighbors. So this is a very dried soybeans, and what you have to do is that you have to soak in the water for more than 6 hours. More than 6 hours.
So it will be better to leave it at night.
Exactly.
And it stays in water the whole night. That will
exactly. That's a perfect idea. So once you soak in the water for more than 6 hours, and then you will see it's a plumped and it's very this is ready to eat in soybeans. Of course, you have to cook it. So that's the kind of a basic but very important ingredients. And the name of our dish is soybean stew with kimchi. We have to have a kimchi. So if you are a vegan, you can make your own vegan kimchi. Or if you are a vegetarian, then you can just to buy regular kimchi from store, or you can make your own kimchi at home. And another very important key ingredient is mushroom. We are using shiitake mushroom, and that has a really good taste when it's cooked in the bouillon and also in the stew, and has some texture similar to meat. And so it's well used ingredients in temple cuisine and also in a vegan cooking in Korea. And of course, so we are talking about Korean food. So you have to have soy sauce and sesame oil and also sesame seeds and some chopped green onion and Korean chili pepper powder to give a little bit kick to the dish. So if you don't want to eat hot dish, you don't have to add this Korean chili pepper.
It's quite spicy, I know.
Yeah, you can make it spicy. Huh? And then garlic. I think that's all you need. It's a very simple dish, but with the full flavors. That's what I like about.
Okay. Actually, we have our ingredients here, but you can also go back to the Instagram page of the Korean Culture Center to have the list in front of you if you are going to cook with us tonight. So, what's the next step?
Okay, let's start by grinding our soybeans.
Okay, which means that we're going to be making some noise.
Yes, it's going to be a little noisy, but try to bear with that. Okay, so I need a soaked soybean and water. So now I have a 700 milliliter water. I'm not going to use everything. I'm going to see the consistency of the grinded soybean. And if I need to add more, I can add more later. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to grind it.
So I think we are trying to get a texture like a puree. So I hope you guys are hearing me because this grinder will make so much noise. I would try to mime, but I don't know if it works. So bear with us 20 seconds, maybe 30.
Should I start?
Yes. In the meantime, maybe you can go back to the recipe and have a look.
Almost done. Bear with me.
Almost there.
Okay.
I think a good grinder is one of the musts that one should have in the kitchen. So
That's correct.
I can see that this works really well.
That's correct.
The louder, the better.
Yes. So now we'll show you how creamy it is. Mm-hmm. You can see it's almost like a soy milk, a little bit thicker texture than soybean milk.
It's almost like in between a puree and soy milk.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. Mm-hmm. And then we are gonna cook it a little bit later. So I'm gonna just leave it right here.
Okay.
Okay. And now we have to prepare our vegetable. So today, two vegetables that I'm gonna use is a shiitake mushroom and onion. So I have a shiitake mushroom here. I'll just show you how to prepare. And you can take this one to make a bouillon later. But so just to cut thin slice. Okay.
We don't waste anything in Korean cuisine. So
Exactly. So like that. So it's don't try to slice too thin, but thin enough. Huh? And then I have a onion here. So onion, thin slice.
it's like a quarter of an onion, isn't it?
Yes,
Okay.
it is a quarter. Okay, that's all you need. Okay, so our preparation for vegetable is done.
Perfect.
Okay, so now we're gonna cook in the pot. So first, turn the heat on. And it's a little bit of oil.
This one is
Just regular oil.
regular.
Yeah, so not
So
sesame
sunflower oil. Okay.
Sunflower oil
Because
is
sesame
perfect.
oil would be too much.
Exactly.
Because
Sesame
it's
oil.
got a very particular taste and
Yes,
smell. So.
and then also the burning point of sesame oil is too low, so it will burn and then it will lose all the flavor and also nutrition facts as well.
Be careful.
But we're gonna put the sesame oil later for the flavor, but not for cooking. So you have to remember. Okay, So swirl around so that all the pot surface has some oil in there. And then we have to wait a little bit until the oil is a little bit warming up. Okay, first we are gonna cook onion, and then make sure to cook onion until the color of the onion is transparent.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better to cook it well than less.
Okay.
So
You want it to be chewy but soft.
yes, it's soft. Perfect.
Exactly. I cannot wait. I mean, it already started smelling nice here. So.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so make sure the pan is warm and hot enough for the onion to be cooked.
I think I am the only lucky person today because you guys maybe be cooking at home, but I will be tasting this when it is finished. So I will have a lovely food made by a chef. Sorry, guys.
Okay. So that's a cooked onion. Can you smell the onion?
I love it. In my house, my son and my husband, when I cook, they love the smell of just the onion. I don't know.
Yeah?
It's very inviting.
Yes, that is. But wait until the mushroom goes in.
Okay.
Then the taste is better.
Looking
And
forward.
then the smell is better. Huh?
Great.
So when you baked onion, it's better to cook longer.
Okay.
And here maybe we have to take a shorter cut because we don't have enough time. But when you cook at home, make sure to cook onion well, but not burned. But burnt onion is not tasty.
Yeah.
But until that point, it's a translucent, transparent, and well cooked, and that's very important.
So is it high heat or medium?
It's a kind of
heat?
medium and high
Okay.
heat. Yeah.
Because
So
it's too, if it's too high, then we simply burn it.
Yes,
That's not
exactly,
what we want.
exactly. So then also another tip is to cut onion as thin as possible.
Okay.
Then it's quicker to be cooked.
Oh, it
Okay.
smells so good.
Yes, yes. I like it. Okay, the next what we're gonna do is we're gonna put, let's put our kimchi first. So kimchi, I already chopped it. There's a chopped kimchi.
Actually, for those of you who want to make kimchi at home, last year, we had a similar program, online session, where we taught how to make kimchi with a Korean chef as well. You can always go back to the videos on the YouTube channel of Korean Culture Center, and you can find, and maybe you would like to try at home. Why not?
The kimchi gives a really good umami flavor to this dish. So if you have a good kimchi, then it's better to use good kimchi than bad kimchi, of course, because of that it is a stew. The main ingredients is meat, not the meat, the beans and then kimchi. So that if the kimchi has a bad taste, then the final product is not going to be good.
So it's going to spoil everything.
Exactly, exactly.
So make your kimchi at home yourself.
Yes,
So that you can make sure
it's
that
very
good.
important. Okay. But if you have older kimchi, it's okay. Older kimchi sometimes gives the best taste for this dish.
Okay.
But new kimchi, I will not use it.
All right.
Yeah.
Old kimchi, not the new one.
Yep. So I'm gonna just add a little bit of oil. More. And then turn the heat down a little bit. And I'm gonna put all the mushroom. Okay. And then mix it. Can you smell it?
I am getting hungry, that's all I can say. It will be difficult to wait until the end.
Yes, it's going to be difficult.
I'll be patient, I promise. So that you can see the end result.
Okay, then I'm going to add garlic now. The reason that I put the garlic later is if I put the garlic too early, it's going to burn. And yeah, so you don't want to have a burned garlic smell either. And now kimchi, mushroom, and onion and garlic, they are all well incorporated. That's what I'm looking for right now. Oops. Okay.
The color looks wonderful.
It's nice, huh?
Oh, it's very inviting.
Yeah. The smell is good too.
Smell is killing me. That's all I can say.
Okay, now it's a time to put our pureed beans. Okay, just
Should I stir it?
Yes, thank you. That'd be nice.
So that we don't burn it.
And you have a little leftover water from 500 milliliters, so you just add it here. And then swirl around so that you will have all the leftover bean puree from the blender. And then add. Okay. And then thank you. And then let me just to show you. So this is the consistency you're looking into. But once it's cooked, it's going to be thicker.
Okay.
Then you add a little bit more water.
Okay.
Then it's okay. That's why you always have to have some extra water next to you. And then make sure to stir well. And then here, sometimes I'm looking for the color a little bit more orange than this one. Then what you need to do is just put a little bit of chili pepper powder in there.
But be cautious. We already put kimchi, and there's already spicy flavor in kimchi. And if you are not good with spiciness, so maybe it would be a good idea just to put a little bit, just to change the color of the dish.
Exactly. And then, so we have to wait until this bean stew is boiled. So once it's boiled, and then turn down the heat a little bit down, and then wait another 10 minutes. So now it's already boiling. So you have to be very careful because that can be very...
okay.
Yeah, it can be very dangerous. So you make sure to
Stir it.
keep away and also stir.
So when it starts giving bubbles, I think it's ready to be left aside for 10 minutes in the low heat.
Correct.
That's great.
So now we are 95% is done.
Oh, really? Already?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, already.
The temple food is simple.
Yes,
to
it's
make.
simple. And we're going to put the soy sauce for saltiness. But you have to remember, kimchi has already the salt in there. So you don't have to put too much salt or soy sauce. But kind of you have to taste also. But I'm going to put a little bit of soy sauce. This is a soup soy sauce. Put the one.
Just to add a little bit of flavor, I guess.
Exactly, exactly. And you can use just regular salt as well, but just to give you a little bit more umami flavor, and you add soy sauce instead of salt.
So if you're making Korean food, let's make it the Korean way.
Yes, correct. But if you don't have a soup soy sauce at home, then you can just use a regular soy sauce. That's not a problem at all. And if you don't have any soy sauce, then you can use salt. But you want to taste it before you add salt or soy sauce into the stew. Okay.
Oh, this looks and smells so good.
Good,
my
huh?
God.
Okay, I'm going to turn down the heat a little
I
bit.
sincerely hope that some of you guys are joining us with this online cooking class, because trust me, the end result would be so delicious. And it looks already great.
Yes, and smells great. So I'm going to add a little bit more water.
Okay.
So it's going to thicker and thicker as it's boiled.
It's one of the dishes that you cannot take your eyes off of 2 minutes, because you really have to make sure that it's the right consistency.
Exactly, exactly. So it's almost done. But longer you boil, the taste is better. So if you make today and then you eat tomorrow, taste is much better. But we don't have that luxury time today.
Oh, right. Next
time. Yeah, next time. So we're gonna, keep it short and then just to cook 10 minutes. But if you are cooking at home and then if you have more than 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that's good. 30 minutes is good, but you have to make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. And you have to look at the consistency, and you have to pour a little bit more water. And if you want to put a little bit more flavor, then instead of using just the tap water, if you have some vegetable stock, vegetable bouillon,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, then you can put it, and then taste this is much better.
Perfect.
In Korea, we use it's not vegan. And you use the broth from the anchovy. It's a small fish, but that's not considered to be vegan, so we are not going to put it there. But if you're not vegan at home, then you can add that broth to the stew.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to boil a little bit longer. And Eileen, you can see that consistency is thicker and thicker.
Exactly.
Huh? So make sure to add a little bit more as it boils. Huh?
Just to give you kind of a reference or an idea, the consistency to me, it almost looks like hummus. So
yes.
A similar type of consistency that we're trying to
almost
achieve.
like a cooked hummus. Huh?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay. So we put the soup soy sauce and also kimchi. The saltiness is there, but sometimes it really depending on the taste, individual taste. You wanna add a little bit more, the flavor or saltiness to this dish. What you can do is you can make separate seasoning sauce. So that's what we do in our family, because everybody has a different saltiness level.
Exactly.
So we were gonna make the sauce, to put it, serve it on the table with the stew. So if you wanna add a little bit more saltiness, then you can use that flavorful seasoning sauce. So shall we make it?
Why not?
Okay.
And after we are done with the sauce, we can take your questions. So don't forget to write them down in the comments section.
Okay, so we're gonna use 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Okay, and half stalk of green onion. So I'm gonna just use the green onion here. And then 1 teaspoon of Korean chili pepper powder. Of course, if you don't want to have a spiciness in your sauce, you can omit this chili pepper powder. And if you have a sesame seeds at home, why not? So I'm going to just add a little bit of...
I know that you use a lot the sesame for the decoration of the Korean food, but I can see that you're putting it in the sauce right now.
Yes, this is also for decoration, and then give a little bit more nuttiness on the sauce. Okay. So now we have the sauce here. So we're gonna serve this one together with the stew and rice.
Perfect. Okay. It looks like we're almost done, no?
Almost done, yeah. But should we do?
I would love to. Sorry.
Should we do should we get some the questions?
Yes, I would love to. Yeah. So, are we ready? But before everybody starts asking their questions, maybe I would like to ask my question first, which is, you talked about the soy sauce, and you said we should use the soup soy sauce. For our audience, can you explain what is the difference between the soup soy sauce and the normal regular one?
Very good questions. Very good question. Well, the soup soy sauce, that's, well, I would say soup soy sauce and the regular soy sauce, they are from the different soybean blocks. As you all know, the soy sauce is made from soybean block. So soybean block, and then you add water, and then you wait for a couple of weeks, and then after that, the water became really darker color, and then that is a soy sauce, and then the soybean block, that is gonna be soybean paste. So that's how you make soy sauce. But when you make the soybean block, sometimes you only use 100% soybeans.
Okay.
And then, or you use 100% soybean, some soybeans, and also add some wheat flour. So when you add wheat flour, the taste of the soy sauce became a little bit sweeter. So this is more like a pure soy sauce, 100%, the soybean products, and this is more mixed soybean. What do you call it? It is from the soybean block that is mixed with the soybean and wheat flour. So that's a little bit sweeter than normal one. So this is more like a pure soy sauce. So if you wanna add, and also the color is less darker than this one. So if you don't wanna make the soup too dark color, then you have to use the soup soy sauce. Now also, the Korean, we make our soup savory soup, not the little bit of sweetness in the soup. So you don't want to add a little sweetness on the soup, then you have to use the pure soy sauce.
So I have some more questions coming from our viewers, so if you don't mind. Just to remind you, we soaked the soya beans, and our viewer is asking, when soaking the beans, do you have to change the water from time to time?
No, you don't have to change the water time to time, but one thing that you have to do is that so once the soybean is soaked, and then you will have the skin of the soybeans. We didn't do that process here because I already take off all the skins of the soybean from home. But when you soak the soybean, and the water is going to be decreased after 6 hours because the dried soybean soaks all the water. And then, but when you see the soybean, if there's no water, you might want to add the water, but you don't have to change the water. And then once the soybean is all soaked, and then you see the skin, and then you try to take off the skin by rubbing soybeans with your hands, and then the skin will come off. And so, but Yoon, how about if I have only 50% soybean skins off? And is it okay? No problem. It's not a problem at all. So
we don't have to change the water.
No.
That's great. The other question is, can we use normal sesame oil, or do we need to buy it from a Korean grocery shop? Does it have to be a particular Korean sesame oil?
Very good question. I really like that question because the sesame oil, all the sesame oil, they are not the same. One, overly roasted sesame oil that has a darker color and a very strong taste. And then one, medium roasted sesame oil that has a perfect brown color and also very good nuttiness without burning smell. And another one, pressed sesame oil that doesn't have any roasting process, that has a very light color. But the problem is that doesn't have any roasting taste.
Okay.
So if I were you, when you make a Korean dish, I think that you should use a Korean sesame oil. That's a really perfectly roasted, and it gives a perfect taste that you are looking for in Korean food.
Okay, next question.
Yes.
Can we replace the shiitake by any other mushroom? Do we have to use it? And also, can we use any other vegetable than the ones that you used in the recipe?
That's a good question as well. Well,
our viewers are great about asking questions. Great.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Well, actually, the reason that I use shiitake mushroom is that, like I said before, that gives a really great flavor into the stew and soup. But also the texture has some kind of meaty texture that you have some kind of the joy to chew. It's a chewy as well.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a shiitake mushroom in your grocery store, supermarket next to you, then you can use just a regular button mushrooms. But that will be my least favorable, the mushroom.
We don't prefer that, but if you really have to, you can.
And then also, other ingredients, other vegetable. If you have zucchini, and then you can just cut really small pieces and then cook together with onion, so make it really soft, and then voila. So you will have the stew with a variety of vegetables. So it's up to your imaginations.
So I don't know if we have time, but we have one more question. What is the difference between Japanese miso and this food?
Japanese miso and?
This one that we are cooking. Is there a difference or are they similar in some sense?
Well, Japanese miso, that's a soybean paste. So the soybean paste, that is, again, it's made of soybean. So what they when they make soy miso, they soak the soybean like we did, and then they cook soybean, and then they mashed it, and then they make the block and mix it with the wheat product. And then you have to wait for a couple of weeks and months of the fermentation process. So after fermentation process is finished, then the texture, smell, and taste, everything is totally different from what you see here. So you don't see any fresh soaked soybean taste or flavors or smells. It's a totally different products. Yeah, that's the difference between...
This is Korean and this is the special and this is the star of today. So let's focus on this. Any other questions? I don't know. I'm waiting for the questions. I have actually lots of questions, but when we were with the smell of this, I forgot everything.
I do that all the time too.
Did you make your kimchi yourself, if I may ask?
No, actually.
No, just joking. Of
this
course.
This is actually store-bought one.
As far as I remember from the last program we made, I mean, there's a particular time that you make kimchi, so maybe it's not the right time to do kimchi at home.
Well, actually, that's true because in winter time, that's the Chinese cabbage, the cabbage that we use to make a kimchi is the best time for that.
Was it November? It's the best time.
Exactly, November. So November that we make the kimchi. Using many Chinese cabbages. So that's the kind of right time to make kimchi.
It's a big event in the Korean drama, so I think most of you already know it.
Yes.
It's a social event, like family members, neighbors, everybody get together to make huge amount of kimchi. Of course, they share it at the end, but it's always good to have homemade food. So I know it's difficult, yet very delicious.
Correct. So I'm gonna put a little bit more water. And then it's almost done.
I cannot wait to taste it.
Okay.
Do we have any other thing to do before?
No, actually, this is it. And then I forgot the green onion. So I'm gonna just put a little bit and mix it, and then cook another 1 or 2 minutes, and then that's it.
I think you use in Korean cuisine, you use a lot of green onions. No?
Green onions and garlic. And onions and.
It not only gives taste, but I can already see that there is a different color, which is great. I mean, you have the orangey color, you have the shiitake mushroom color, and then you have the spicy redness there and the green.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Correct.
There is something I have seen. It's my personal observation, let's say. The Korean food in general, when I see the pictures, the presentation is wonderful. I don't know if there is a specific emphasis on the presentation of your food. Is it really important to present it in a nicer way?
Yes. Well, we say that you eat your food with your eyes first.
Okay.
So you have to present very well, and with a different kind of colors. So you use some kind of add red colors. And here, I didn't bring it, but you can add more red color by adding pepper. Red pepper. And then green color, you already have a green color, green onion. And so you're trying to find the different colors to make the food pretty, but also yummy.
I think I was right. I always thought that the Korean food is like a feast for the eye as well as for the stomach. So it has to look good, it has to taste good, and it does in general. So
thank you.
Are we done?
Yes, we're done.
Yes.
So maybe, would you like to taste a little bit?
I would love to if I'm allowed to.
Okay, so I'm going to give you
So I think we are done with the questions, which is great. Would you like to show it to our viewers?
Sure. I'm
just before. Okay, maybe.
I will show like that. And usually you eat this one with rice. Of course, it's
Let me show you
it's
when
up
you're-
to you. But we have our rice and then our the stew, and then with our sauce, and then you mix rice with the stew and a little bit of sauce, and then eat everything in one bite. So that's how we eat this dish.
Can the weavers see it well? I don't know.
So I will just put this one. You know what?
Is there a special way to eat this? With rice, without rice, or kimchi? But we already put kimchi in there.
Yeah,
so.
we already put kimchi, but if you have extra kimchi, you can always add the kimchi. That's
Kimchi is always welcomed.
yes, yes, yes. And I'm gonna just put it here. It's different.
So in the meantime, I would like to remind you that you can follow the Instagram page of Korean Culture Center to get a place for the upcoming events, online or offline events. Unfortunately, it is very in demand, so it's very difficult to find a space for the offline cooking classes. That's the reason why we decided to make an online one as well. You can always follow the Instagram page to find out the exact dates for the September registrations for the cooking classes. I know there is still time, but let me show it to you. But you can already start. Should we put it this way, maybe? Okay.
Perfect.
Looks very yummy. I sincerely hope that you are making it with us today, because it will be great for dinner. It smells great, it looks great. So in a minute, I will be having a bite as well. But I think we're all done.
Yes.
I really enjoyed this cooking session with you. I
Thank
hope
you.
our viewers as well. I thank you very, very much for all the explanation, for the lovely food. And we would like to see you next time as well, which will be in a month, I guess. So don't forget to follow us. So for the time being, enjoy your food and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.